Hi, and welcome to Reality Check. I am Tracy G from the Heart, and today I am going to share with you 3 scary ghost stories that just happen to be true. So settle in, get yourself a drink, get in the dark, and get ready to be scared. Well, or maybe not. You might not be too scared, but these actually did happen to me. I actually am going to be writing a book soon with my mom called The Farmhouse. You can check it out. It'll be under the name Taylor Knight. But these stories will be in there. It's basically going to be about my childhood and yeah, the ghosts that I encountered there, and then also just I am going to put in all the different scary things that have happened to me my whole life, but I am actually going to kind of rewrite it a little bit so that it looks like it all it all happens in the same timeline, like the same story, kind of just going to bring in a little bit of creativeness, but the actual stories are going to be true. So anyway, settle in, and I'm going to tell you three of them. I've got like 20 that have happened to me. But today, yeah, I decided I'm going to share my 3 of my favorites. So here we go. All right, so the first one was actually my first encounter, like big encounter of a paranormal. It's basically the one that made me realize that, oh no, ghosts are real. I was 9 years old, and I was up in my bedroom, and we lived on a farm, this farmhouse that I'm going to write about. But anyway, we lived on a farm, and the farmhouse was pretty unique. It was actually 2 smaller houses that they actually put together and then cut out a wall and made them one house. So it had a upstairs. We came in over here. You came into the kitchen. You came came into the dining room, and then there were stairs to go up into an attic. And that was just an attic. We just, kept junk up there. But anyway, and then you went straight, and then the bathroom was to the right over here, and then this is the wall that they cut and attached this other house. So that house, there was a living room, and then there was a kitchen, and that we turned into a bedroom. And then upstairs that way, at the top of the stairs to the right was my bedroom. My bedroom was over here, and then my parents' bedroom was right next to it. Well, these old farmhouses, they have, I don't know if you've ever been to any of them, but upstairs, the ceilings kind of can angle like this, like the roof line has a little bit of a like this. And so that was on the right side of my bed, was where that wall or that ceiling, and then the ceiling actually kind of tilted in and gave it a little bit of a different effect. But anyway, and then then the stairs going up to that room were at the end of my bed, and there was a railing, a white railing that you could look down over, and it had the spindles. But anyway, so here I am, 9 years old. I'm in bed. I always hated to go to bed by myself, and I think it's because I could feel something watching me or someone watching me. So this particular night, I went to bed, and I've always had an active imagination. I know this. So I, would see things in the night, and then I'd open my eyes and I'd like focus, and then, okay, it's a lamp, kind of a thing, little kid stuff. Well, this night, I woke up, and at the end of my bed was a little boy standing there. And I will never forget what he looked like. His hair was a little like unkept. He had red hair, and it looked like he might even had a little matting, like like somebody hadn't been taking care of him. And he looked like he might have a disability, but he was just standing there looking at me. And I looked at him. I went, swear word, even as a little kid. And I turned, I looked away, I looked at the lamp and, my desk and stuff. I'm like, okay, my eyes are open. And I turned back and he was still there. That was my moment. And he just stood there. So I started talking to him. I'm like, hi, do you need something? What's your name? And I have never had a ghost actually talk to me. They show themselves to me. I take that back. They've never actually verbally talked to me. Now I can actually get messages telepathically from them. And I'll ask, hey, does this make sense? And they're like, oh yeah, that's right on. So anyway, so I have learned, and now I'm kind of like, I wish I would have known to telepathically try to connect to him back then, because then I probably wouldn't have been as scared. So yeah, so in the end, he just kind of stood there, and then all of a sudden he starts to float upward and then move towards me a little bit and then disappears into that ceiling, So he's like over there, floating, gets about here, and then just floats out. So yeah, so that happened. And shortly after that, my mom and I moved out of that farmhouse, and I'm starting to wonder if he was just coming to say goodbye. He knew I was going to be leaving. So there you go. Okay, the second one is one that happened to me in college. Now, this one I'm going to probably put into my book, The Farmhouse, but I think I'm going to write it like my mom and I go visit a niece or something at college, just to kind of keep it so that I'm still the same age throughout the book. And if you I'm still in the creative stage of this book, so if you have some ideas that you want to share, put them in the comments down below. I mean, I am an open book right now as far as how this book is going to come out. So anyway, so the granite miner. Oh, stay focused, Tracy. Stay focused. Okay, the granite miner. So I was in college. We lived in a fourplex, and it was in St. Cloud State University in Minnesota. And the fourplex was right by a park. And it was just, I think that'd be south of the campus. And anyway, all of my roommates, I had 3 other roommates, were gone for the weekend. And I went to bed. Well, I woke up in the night laying on my back. And I looked up and I'm like, uh-oh. Why am I on my back? Like, I never sleep on my back. And every time that I end up on my back, it's usually because something has disturbed me. So I'm waking myself up and then I end up on my back. So I open my eyes and I look, and in the doorway is this huge guy. He is like 6'4", 6 foot. I mean, his shoulders come almost to the top of the frame, and his head is not even in the door. It's almost like he's going to have to bend to come in. And I shut my eyes really quick, and I'm like, oh my gosh, someone's in the house. Oh my gosh. And I look, and I'm thinking, wait, he could be right here now. So I open my eyes, and he's gone. And this house was old and creaky, and anytime when anybody went up the stairs or down the stairs or even walked in the hallway or did any walking whatsoever, you would hear the creaking of the floorboards. So, and I knew that I've seen ghosts before, and so I'm like, oh no. But I kept looking, and so what he looked like, he had bib overalls on and a checkered shirt. And I didn't see his hair because, like I said, he was so tall. All I saw was his chest. And I'm gonna sneeze. I might have to delete this. you like me sneezing, then I'll leave it in. But yeah, he had a checkered shirt on, bib overalls, long sleeve, and that one had some interesting information of how I found out who it was. So I went to the bar, which was called the Red Carpet, and that bar, if you've ever been in St. Cloud, you should go to that bar. It's got 7 bars in that bar. So that was kind of our hangout, and I was sitting at the, talking to one of the bartenders I knew, and he starts talking about some of the history of St. Cloud and that they did a lot of granite mining back in the day. And I'm like, oh, what did they do with the granite miners? And he goes, oh, they would keep them, they'd house them in like different buildings around town. And I said, there's a fourplex on the corner down kind of by the gas station. He goes, oh, by the park? Yeah, that one definitely. Yeah, that was one of the places that they let the granite miners live while they were working. And I said, by chance, what did these granite miners wear? And he's like, oh, back in that time, bib overalls and some sort of long shirt. That's when I went, I saw a granite miner. So after that, I went back home and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, we have a granite miner, my roommates, they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to stay. I mean, we stayed for the rest of the school year, but then we were going to get out of there. But a funny side or follow up to that was after I got so freaked out, because I'm like, you guys, I saw him. Like a week later, or maybe not even a whole week, I had some earrings that I had lost. And anyway, I come home from going to classes and stuff, go up into my room where I had seen him, and on my pillow are those earrings. I asked my roommates, hey, thanks for finding my ears. No, I didn't. No, none of them. None. Like, what? Your earrings? And so I feel that he was trying to let me know that he didn't mean to scare me. Here, I know you were looking for these. Here's your earrings, kind of as like a peace offering, I felt like. So, but anyway, yeah, that, I never did feel scared of either one of these ghosts that I've talked about so far. More just like startled, like, oh, like what was that? Or oh gosh, I'm not supposed it. Yeah, and that granite miner, I actually did have a little bat that I walked through the whole house like a girl in a hunt, in a any horror movie you've ever seen that goes through the house. Yeah, I did that. But thank goodness in that case that it actually was a ghost and it wasn't an intruder, because, looking back on that, I should have just called the police probably, if there was somebody in the house. But I think I would have heard him go back down the stairs. That was the other reason I was 90% sure that I could just walk around and make sure that it was all safe and good. And it was. So there you go. Now, the last ghost, that one, that one, the don't do that ghost, I'm going to explain why that is what I'm calling him. I was down in Minneapolis, and I was writing my other book, Universe, by Taylor Knight. And I was with my other friend who also writes books. And so we were kind of doing a brainstorming kind of a thing. And he had set me up in the basement on his couch, fold out couch. And anyway, we'd stayed up till like 2 a.m. or whatever, just brainstorming. And oh man, I mean, we got a lot done. But was not expecting to be woke up at 5 a.m. I woke up at 5 and laying on my back again. And I'm not kidding. He was this close, like looking at me, like, who's this? Like, you know, like intrigued, like who is in my basement? You know, who's laying on my couch? Who's this girl? You know? And so when I opened my eyes and I saw him, I screamed. I'm like, ah, you know, and then I said, don't do that. And he backed up like, oh, she can see me. But this guy, I'm not kidding. This ghost looked as real as you and me. Like I thought that my friend's roommate came home and thought, oh, who's the blonde chick on the couch, you know? And so I thought it was his roommate. I mean, it looked that real. Like I thought it was a dude, like, and I'm like, what? You know, like, and he backed up, but as he backed up, he disappeared. Oh. So yeah, that guy, he had a beard, kind of a red tint to it too, big chunky cheeks. They were red, rosy red, like he'd been outside. Bib overalls again. What is it with me and bib overalls? I don't understand. But yeah, and just another, but he looked more like he was a train conductor, or like he worked for the railroad. And I asked my friend if he wanted me to do some snooping on the house and to see, you know, if someone, well, obviously, yeah, somebody did die there or loved that place and didn't realize he was gone. So I decided that I was gonna, you know, after I screamed at him, I'm like, oh my gosh, you startled me. I said, hey, I didn't mean to scare you, but you startled me. And I just want you to know, in case nobody's told you, that you have passed on. You're dead. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but in case you forgot, there is someplace else you can go. And if you want, I can help you with that. I am going to, and I open portals just with a little swirly. I said, I'm going to open a portal over here by the window. If you want to leave, I'm not telling you you have to leave, but if you have been here long enough and you don't feel the need to be here anymore, I would suggest just moving on because there's so much more to the universe than just this house. And you've done everything that you're going to do in this lifetime. So you might as well go see what's next. You know, I know you're forgiven. I know that there's loved ones waiting for you on the other side. So, you know, just forgive yourself, let go of whatever is keeping you here and go to the light, you know. Well, that's all I have for you today. Give this a thumbs up if you liked the content. If you'd like me to tell you more, you know, scary ghost stories, I sure can. I also do have a lot of photos that I've taken that are a little interesting. So I'll probably put those in one of my next videos. But all right, that's all I got. Have a good day. Bye-bye.